So we're on to day 3 of MIPIM 2024, and today we're joined by Nicolas Joly, and I've also got Jean-Baptiste with me by my side to ask a few questions. So welcome to the CoStar booth.
Hello.
Very good to meet you, first time we're meeting. Just wanted to start off with a nice easy question, I suppose, just about the conference, how it's been going, and maybe sort of the general sentiment that you've been feeling in conversations you've been having.
Well, I'd say it's much better than last year, but definitely we are not out yet. I mean, it's good to mix between investors, local authorities also, to share our view, but definitely we are still a strong lack of visibility, an environment full of uncertainty ahead of us, but that's, I mean, the best point, I mean, to shift in our strategy and try to reinvent ourselves in order to be able to face the new normal that is ahead of us.
Absolutely. And I think I understand recently that Icade, they sort of published their strategic plan for 2024 to 2028. Just wanted to ask you there about sort of the strategy and I suppose the main pillars of the plan.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we've shared with the market 1 month ago exactly our new strategic plan. It's called ReShapE. We are adding until 2028 exactly. It's based on 4 pillars. The first one regards our office portfolio. How we gonna adapt to the new needs of our customers? Though that was when I first joined Icade almost 1 year ago. We launched an in-depth analysis with all the teams on our portfolio, in order to interview our tenants, our customer, and understand their need to define the proper criteria for the one building that still will be offices tomorrow. And the main conclusion of the portfolio is that globally, Icade's portfolio is resilient with more than 85% of our office assets that are, in our view, fit for the future in terms of the needs of our customers. So we are talking here about centrality, transportation hub, definitely, ESG standards in terms of building and the way we operate the building, but also the ability we have to answer to our client needs in terms of flexibility, services, and so. And there's also a bucket of assets that, in our view, in the midterm, will need to be repositioned, roughly 15% of the portfolio. Fortunately, we have also a toolbox at Icade, our property development teams that allow us to transform those assets into schools, to hotels, into residential lots. So this was the first one pillar. What about our offices? The second one is the idea to embrace in the mid-long term the main trends of the city being getting more and more mixed use. And this will allow us to diversify our capital allocation in terms of this investment. So we ran a full study, and at the end of the day, we decided to focus on 3 main asset classes in which there's a huge potential for growth and in which Icade has already a strong expertise. So being light industrial, we have 2 huge business parks, 15 kilometers from Paris. Student housing, PBSA, definitely. Icade has built more than 5,000 beds over the past 5 years. So we are now willing to invest in this asset class and not only build and develop, and also, of course, data centers by leveraging our unique land banks we have and the special and long-term relationship we have with both the local authorities and operators such as Equinix, DataCat, Digital Realty. So this is about diversification. And the third pillar is after the 2028, actually we are aiming at building the 2050 city with the strong conviction we have that this 2050 city will be both mixed use and sustainable. We have a deep conviction at Icade with deep roots, almost 20 years, that ESG tomorrow will definitely be the standard. And we have to reinvent ourselves in order to develop this 2050 city. And we have already some very nice example. In this Olympic year, of course, we have the athlete village that has just been delivered, and we are waiting for the athletes to come in. And this, I mean, the main thing is that it's one of the best examples. It's also at scale. We are talking at a district scale. It's 50,000 square meters. So it's huge. And we see that it's possible to divide by almost half the carbon footprint of such a project. We have also a bunch of other projects in our pipeline, such as La Jalère in Bordeaux, which has been retained by the Prime Minister among the 22 assets list by the government. And of course, the fourth pillar is and has always been to maintain a cautious financial policy. I think it's absolutely key in the uncertain environment we are talking about to stick to our strong standard, to maintain the robust balance sheet we have, which has been strengthened by the healthcare disposal last year. So we will stick to our guidelines on that in order to be able to deliver the roadmap of ReShapE we've just shared.
Thank you for that insight on your strategy. 1 year ago, Icade announced here at MIPIM that he was selling the healthcare branch to Primonial. It was to make a big focus on office, so a first step to your strategic plan. But regarding all the challenges that this asset class faces right now, what will be your added value on this asset class?
Yeah, indeed. Last year, we announced the disposal of the healthcare business. That allows us to both strengthen the balance sheet and refocus on our two main historic businesses, so investment and property development. Definitely, our view is that office has been key, is still key, and will be key in the city of tomorrow. In 2050 city, there's a kind of office bashing today, but clearly it's still key in everyday's life. But it's not only a matter of product, of building, it's also a matter of relationship we are sharing with the tenants who are now customers. Might be my retail DNA for almost 15 years, but when I was doing offices, 20 years ago, we were talking about tenants, we were just talking about square meters. Now we are talking about customers that are there, that have their own problems, their own needs, and we, as a partner, have to deliver some strong answers to that, understand their problem, give them some solutions. That's exactly what we are doing, for example, with Technip or Def Renouvelable in the building Origine in Nanterre Prefecture, or I was with the team of Schneider recently, and we are building a strong partnership with Schneider. We'll be hosting their new headquarters, so we have to be able to answer their issues about ESG, operating the building, services, and also flexibility at a time where HR directors don't have a proper view on their exact needs. So we need to build this long-term relationship in order to make that people tomorrow will choose our buildings, not only because of the building, but also because it's an Icade building.
Okay. And very finally from me, just on your sort of position at Icade and just you've been there a year now. I just wanted to sort of reflect on that year and just wondered if you had any sort of highlights or if you wanted to sort of speak about any of the progress that has happened at the group during your time in the role.
Well, it was, I'd say, both tough and great, honestly. As you can feel, the environment is definitely tough, but I'm really enthusiastic about what I've found at Icade, and not talking about the assets on the portfolio, but the teams. Their daily commitment to what we are today, their daily commitment and their strong conviction in ESG. So globally, we are reshaping the way we used to work in order to face the challenges of the 2050 city. Was the major positive surprise there to see how committed the teams are, the strong conviction they have, and this give me also the strong conviction in the plan we've shared with the market and the ability Icade will have to reshape the way we work together, property development and investment division, in order to be able to face properly the challenges of the city of tomorrow.
One last question also for me. In the past, Icade has been very active in selected European countries. I'm thinking about Germany. You had offices there, and a lot of them were sold for the past years. Is it being considered today? Do you look at European markets and positively offices?
Well, definitely it's not on the priority list. In the uncertain environment, we need to focus. We need to focus on our strengths. We need to focus on synergies, on the market we know, and try to leverage our key differentiating assets, know-how. So it would not really make sense for us in the short term to focus abroad. I mean, there's a lot to do in France. That's where we have unique land banks, unique long-term relationship with the local authorities. I mean, this year will be Icade's 70th birthday, I mean, in France. So much to do in France. That's where we will be focusing in the years to come.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thanks very much for joining us today, Nicolas. And
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday for this year, I suppose.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to share that with you. Thank you.
Thank you.